What's important is that if you want to build a platform position in any system, you need to look at a few specific things. First, you need to be in a position of centrality and orchestration. And what I mean by that is that if you're a platform, you should have the ability to understand your various stakeholders, to understand them in real time, to understand data about them in detail, and use that to perform the right orchestration and matchmaking functions. What that means is that if you're, for example, a public administration body in, say, healthcare, you should have a clear data commons mechanism through which healthcare data can be standardized, shared, and used to coordinate multiple stakeholders in the healthcare value chain. If you don't do that, if you're relying on command and control processes to orchestrate this whole system, then that's not going to scale, and you're going to be the central point of failure. So I think the challenge that public administration, which is not digitally forward and is not transformed appropriately, the challenge that they have is that they are in a central position, but they're creating a bottleneck instead of scalable orchestration. So that's the first piece that's important. The second thing that's important is that you're really a platform if you're helping everybody else around you scale up on top of you. If you're just acting as a bottleneck in between, then you're not really a platform. You're more of an intermediary that is not scalable. And we've seen many such intermediaries that are not platforms, for example, brokers, middlemen. And the last thing we want is public administration to suffer from those inefficiencies. So what's important is that if we were to think of public administration as a platform, we need to ensure that all government and non-government bodies that work alongside it, they are able to scale up because of it. A really good example of this, I would say, is what's happening in India, for instance, where they've created the India Stack, which is a public-private, created in a public-private partnership model. And the India Stack provides a common set of capabilities by which identity can be ascertained, data can be, or data privacy and data custodianship can be managed, payments can be managed across different payment systems. And so we now have companies like Google and Facebook building on top of this rather than building separate from the government. Another example is possibly China, where, of course, the government has a bigger position in how it works with the private sector, but it's still created a framework for orchestration, which is the digital Silk Road model. And if you look at a company like Alibaba, it's working alongside the government in that digital Silk Road model. There are other issues around China, which I don't want to get into, but my main point is that there has to be a mechanism by which a government or public administration body leverages interoperability, leverages data commons, leverages common shared digital infrastructure to work in a public-private cooperation model rather than relying on traditional command and control mechanisms. So that's how I would think about applying